to Speak Nerdy to Me. I am Kaori Takee, and joining me as always is...
And Campea! What up, everybody?
The beautiful Anne Campea.
Ooh, I got the beautiful today.
As always. That's what I say behind her back, too. Awful friend. So we are here, Team Amazing, bringing you the fun geek topics that we have on deck
You're
today.
so far.
I know, right?
I'm going to sit like this.
That's a good idea.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
Anyway, so let's get right to it, yeah?
Sure.
All right, so I believe it was Wednesday morning that it was announced that the full DC movie lineup has been unveiled. And that is Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice in 2016, as well as Suicide Squad. In 2017, we've got Wonder Woman and Justice League Part 1. And in 2018, we've got The Flash, which is shocking news, Aquaman and Shazam as well. And then in 2019 is Shazam and Justice League Part 2. And in 2020, that's like 6 years from now, Cyborg and Green Lantern. So they've got a lot of movies in queue and on deck and ready to be made and preparing. So it's great news and it's exciting for the DC universe.
Yeah, it completely is. I think everybody is kind of still trying to process the amount of information we have learned from Warner Brothers. And I still don't know what to make of it. I mean, I love that they released this grand schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, they're finally on par with what Marvel has been doing.
It's kind of almost like, all right, you guys talking about Marvel having all these movies in queue. Well, check us out. Bam!
I know. It took a little bit longer, and some of the people I talked to today about it are concerned, obviously, because maybe we won't be into superhero movies come 2020. I don't know. Who knows what the big trend is going to be that many years from now. But, Marvel's plan goes just as far out, maybe not to 2020, but it goes pretty far out too.
Yeah.
I mean, was there anything that they announced that really surprised you?
I think I was pretty shocked about The Flash. I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but now that's going to happen. That should be exciting. And obviously, with the trend of how well the Flash TV show is doing, who, by the way, The Flash is not going to be played by Grant Gustin, but Ezra Miller. Mm-hmm. So that was the news. And then exciting stuff is that they're also working on Batman and Superman standalones.
I mean, what do you think about, because, you have 2 movies coming out every year,
Yeah, which is
a lot.
That's actually really shocking because they usually do 1 movie every 2 years or something. Mm-hmm. So I hope that the quality of the DC Warner Brothers movie doesn't plummet, and I hope it stays the same because every DC movie, except for Man of Steel, was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I kind of liked Man of Steel, but, I'm in the minority, I guess.
Well, Henry Cavill is a little hot little thing, but...
Let's see, what else is on here? Yeah, the fact that they're not crossing over the TV shows, I like that.
Yeah, I love that too. Mm-hmm. I think that's actually pretty cool because although Grant Gustin does a really great job on The Flash as The Flash, mm-hmm. I don't know how he would feel in the big screen. And that's kind of how I feel also about Stephen Amell.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely have a love for Stephen Amell and his portrayal of Arrow. I think it just makes sense to separate the two. You just don't mm-hmm. want to kind of get stuck the way Marvel has with tying in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with their cinematic universe.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah. Because I don't really feel like I have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to love any Marvel movie, even mm-hmm. though people who are huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans do tell me they do tie in really, really well. But it doesn't... Yeah. Yeah, but also I am kind of worried of the rumor that Gal Gadot might have her own standalone Wonder Woman film. Because, well, we haven't seen her act yet.
June 23rd, 2017.
Yeah, we haven't seen her act yet. So I don't even know how she's going to do as Wonder Woman and how much of a part she has in the Superman-Batman movie. So I'm a little concerned there, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how she does in that movie first mm-hmm. to really assess, would I be okay with this?
Yeah. I completely agree. The fact that they're going to put together a Suicide Squad by August 5th, 2016.
Yeah. That's soon, actually.
That's a big movie. There's a lot of potential people they could put in that film. So there's going to be a lot of convincing that they have to do that these people fit in. But I'm sure they're going to do a good job. I think for me, I'm just glad that Jason Momoa is, officially Aquaman.
I think so, too.
I like that The Rock is confirmed as Black Adam. Although we will not be seeing that until 2019.
It's going to pass so fast, and I'm okay with time kind of slowing down a little bit,
Yeah. I mean, there's just a laundry list of things that I'm looking at this list over here. It's just insane. But
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think. As soon as March 25th, 2016 hits, it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
Rapid fire of DC movies coming out.
I know. I mean, they have... It's all the way ready all the way through 2020. 2020, blah, 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 does. But,
I'll be 21 in 2020.
I'm going to be like 20.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some movie news.
Sure.
Because this weekend, we got box office numbers for you. Gone Girl is at over 26 million, 27 million about. Dracula Untold, 23 million about. And Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day at a little over 18 million. And then Annabelle and The Judge and The Equalizer follows. What do you think as box office numbers? Are you surprised or?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I figured, with everyone still talking about Gone Girl, like, it means that people are still going out to see it. And probably a lot of people who didn't see it when it opened. Perhaps they just didn't hear about it, or now they're just now hearing about how much of a mindfuck it is, and now they're curious and are going to see it again.
Yeah.
Or see it for the first time. So I'm not surprised by that. I was kind of hoping that Dracula would just inch, past it, just because I am biased.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I was actually surprised at these numbers because I didn't think Dracula Untold would do so well.
Yeah,
It did
that's
pretty
true.
well. And I'm also surprised with Alexander, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because I didn't expect that one to do so well either. Surprisingly, it's getting good reviews. However, I am shocked that Robert Downey Jr.'s The Judge didn't do as hot as I expected it to.
But let's face it, I mean, they do have the names in it, right?
Yes.
But how many of you could tell me what the movie was about?
I can. Do you know what
Based on the trailer?
I can.
Based on the marketing?
I
I would say Kaori is the exception because she is above average movie fan. But for me, for the exposure that I've had to the marketing for this film, I really didn't know.
But even the poster, can't you tell, like, Robert, the two Roberts are like, go fuck yourself, kind of? No?
I don't know.
So are you interested in watching The Judge?
What is it? Like, this will be its second week at the box office?
This is going to be its second week coming up.
I think so now that I've heard some people that have seen it and said, okay, I think you might like this film. But I definitely wasn't in line to see it the first weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're very much interested in it, right?
I'm very much interested in it, but I haven't had the chance to see it yet.
Yeah.
There's so many more movies coming up, but we're about to get to that. But first, let's review Dracula Untold because we both saw it together. And I would love to hear your thoughts, Miss.
Ooh, me first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I liked the film. I think that the ratings are a little bit under what I expected them to be. I like the fact that Luke Evans led this movie, and he really portrayed that role of Vlad very well.
I agree.
So I have no complaints about Luke Evans. I have no complaints about Daddy Lannister. I thought he was creepy as fuck. Like, I told Kaori after the movie, that's how the demon in Annabelle should have looked. As scary as he looked in that cave, that's how the demon should have looked in Annabelle. I mean, they did such a good job with his makeup. He was creepy. He was like 10 times crazier than Daddy Lannister is on Game of Thrones. I'm calling him that because I don't know his real name.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Many of you who have seen it, I probably could have done without the wife. I know that she was supposed to be his backbone, and while I like the story that that they carried, with them putting themselves on the line for their child.
Yeah.
And that never faded throughout the whole film, which is nice. I didn't really like her acting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the chemistry between the two of them either.
Me neither.
And I don't know why.
It.
That's important for me, at least, when I see those types of relationships and when they're supposed to have that bond. And if I don't buy it, then it kind of takes away from the film. But I mean, I could go on and on. I like that this is going to be a part of a larger universe, monster universe. So that I'm excited for. But let me pass it on to you because I know you have a lot to say too.
All right, my notes. Well, the viewer rating for Rotten Tomatoes was 66%. So I was like, okay, not so bad. The critics really didn't like it.
Yeah, see, I'm more on par with that.
Yeah. Why you so tough, critics? You know, be a viewer like us. Anyway, so I actually thought the movie was terribly good, if that makes sense. I'm not talking about, oh, it was good. It was terrible good, if that makes any sense.
I get it.
But thank you. I think Luke Evans was perfect. They casted the perfect guy for it. You know, he looks like a conflicted guy in himself. You know what I mean? So him playing this Vlad the Impaler and then trying to save his region, but at the same time trying to save his son and ready to kill everyone and hurt everyone to save his son is kind of so I liked that. I liked the special effects.
Yeah.
For sure. I thought the fight scenes were fun. Especially towards the end when everyone's going at each other. I'm like, yeah, this is like what I've been waiting for, you know. The bats going around were creepy, was good, and Daddy Lancer did a really good job. And I wrote, though, this really pissed me off, even though I know that it has to happen. His dumbass wife made him succumb to drinking his blood when he was so close to not getting cursed.
They should have a alternate ending in the DVD or the Blu-ray.
She's like, drink me. Save Mar's son. I'm like, you bitch.
I know.
I'm like, why don't you drink his blood so you can maybe survive or something? I don't know. I would just, you know. I like the scene when she was falling.
Yeah.
And he couldn't catch her. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I also think the ending was a little unnecessary, but I get it because they do want to prelude a monster movie, another monster movie, but I didn't really want to see the wife reincarnated, you know?
I actually liked her better reincarnated than I did in the first life that she lived. But you bring up, and I completely agree with all your points, and you brought up something that I forgot. The action, to me, while I liked it, I feel like it's one of those things where the director wasn't experienced with shooting action. Yeah. And so for me, it was a lot of movement, fast movement, and I actually started to feel a little nauseous, and that never really happens to me.
Well, there was some cheese. I like the part where they're having a battle surrounded by silver coins. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. And then the one where he tried to be artistic by showing the reflection of the action on the sword.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I was like, what the hell is going on, you know? But I mean, I like you said, I didn't mind like the bats. I didn't like that he kind of had this supernatural power over the bats.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it. I was like, cool. Like he's like doing this with his hands and then smashing the ground and the bats are, I was all for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there definitely were some flaws, so I can see why it was not rated high as I would hoped it would.
But just go in there with a grain of salt, and I think you could enjoy it. Okay, so let's talk about some movie news real quick. Also, we have reports that Batista, who played Drax, the Destroyer, is going to be the villain Hinx, which is the main henchman in the next Bond movie. And according to comingsoon.net, whoever wins the role will have, because he's in talks, so whoever actually wins the role will have several altercations with Daniel Craig's 007 throughout the film and a driving sequence. Your thoughts, Anne, on Batista being the henchman?
Ooh, you know, if he is, in fact, the henchman, I buy it just because of the initial specs of the character. You know, he has to be huge. He has to be, strong. So physically, I think Batista could do it. While he played Drax really well, I'm still waiting, and this could be the role for him, where he can actually really, really shine in his acting abilities, because he has gotten better. He has definitely gotten better, but I think Drax was a good character because of the way he was written and directed. So that didn't solidify that he is there yet. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him as this character. Like, it's a huge thing for him if he got it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows in what capacity this henchman's gonna be talking. You know, he could just be a badass, quiet guy that points his finger in a white suit or something. I don't know. I just imagine that kind of thing. So, I think that oftentimes the 007 movies cast pretty well. So whatever, if they do happen to cast him, he would probably fit the role. I have confidence in that. So we'll see what happens. If this happens, it kind of it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think this will make or break, right?
Right, exactly. It would make or break. That's well said.
So.
All right. So now also, Variety reported on Monday that Robert Downey Jr. is in final negotiations to play the billionaire Tony Stark in Captain America 3, which is slated for that release in spring 2016. So with this idea, we obviously think it's probably going to have the Civil War storyline involved. And for you guys that aren't familiar, it's basically Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, and they're in opposing stances on how people with special powers should be handled, and they go to war. So I think that's the idea. I would love to see this happen. It's really exciting. And, you know, there was always tension between Captain America and Iron Man. You see that in the Avengers. So the Civil War storyline, if this is going to happen, I'm just 130%, 1,000,000% down.
That's a lot of percent.
You, Anne.
Yeah, I'm totally down for it too. Civil War was one of my favorite series of comic books. I think that if they shoot it like they did the last Captain America, that would be nice, just because there was a lot of political strife. There's a lot of in the comics, so I could see that being in the dialogue. I could totally see Tony Stark taking a stance against, Rogers, and so I hope so. I mean, again, it's rumored, but it sounds to me like this is a close rumor.
Yeah.
What the crazy thing is that if you look this up on the internet, half the sites are reporting that it's confirmed and half the sites are reporting with a question mark.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with the question mark until we officially get some announcement from the studio or from our DJ himself. But everybody's fingers are crossed for this, I think.
Yeah, we would love to see this happen. I mean, I'm about to pee my pants thinking about it. No, I'm just kidding. That's disgusting.
She already peed.
All right. Let's talk about some of the movie releases coming out. Let's talk about Fury and Saw. Let's talk about Fury first, because we are so excited about Fury, because it's a World War II movie, and being Japanese, I don't really want to talk about it anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's April 1945, and War Daddy, who's played by Brad Pitt, commands a Sherman tank and his 5-man crew on a deadly mission behind enemy lines. So basically, they're in the line, struggling in Nazi Germany. It's gonna be war, and they've got really good actors, not just Brad Pitt, but they've got the guy from The Walking Dead, who I love.
Oh my gosh,
Michael Pena.
What is that guy's name? I love him.
I know. Shane. It's called Shane.
He was Robert De Niro's son.
Him.
I always forget his name, but I also love him.
Yeah,
he's great.
And Shia LaBeouf's in there. By the way, rumor has it he's dating Kate Mara.
Oh,
isn't that weird?
Come on.
Anyway, that's what rumor has it. I'm like, by the way, okay. So what do you think of this movie? I know you're excited.
I'm definitely excited. I think, like you said, I'm excited to see everybody in it. For me, Brad Pitt is a draw, just the name itself. And so...
you think Brad Pitt's hot?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
I've always liked him.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you. Like, you can't even talk anymore. You're like, oh, yeah. So I think now you pee in your pants.
Stuff in my pants.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I love war movies if they're done well. I actually really wanted to see that one movie with George Clooney and where they're trying to save this painting or the last art, but then everyone said it was so bad, I ended up not watching it.
I don't even know the title of that movie.
Remember what it was? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No,
the one with George Clooney and then Kate Blanchett and I think Matt Damon was in it.
Oh, yeah, I remember the movie poster now.
Yeah,
I just don't.
See? Oh, okay. Anyway, so war movies are usually very interesting, and they worked really hard on this film, and I'm excited to see the production of it.
Yeah.
So, what about Saw? Because if you like scary movies, you know about Saw, and guess what, guys? The original Saw is going to be released October 31st, Halloween Day, for a solid week. And you can watch the original one, which is the best one, which led to ridiculous ones. What do you think of this first movie, and what do you think of the idea of bringing it out for 1 week only?
Love it. Perfect timing. It's about time. How old is this movie now?
Oh, I think like 2005 or something.
Yeah,
like
it's got to be almost a decade old, if not.
2004 maybe?
I think it's appropriate. And you're right. It was the absolute best Saw out of any of them. So if they're going to release any of them back in the theater, it has to be this one.
Yeah. Oh, please. Like, if they were like, let's bring out Saw 3, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, which one was that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the dude dies in which one? Like, the main...
Oh, my gosh. Like, I think he keeps dying. And then the other person from the past, from Saw 1, comes to Saw 2, and etc.
And then his daughter, right? Takes over or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think the girl from Saw 1, the one that was, like, the victim that survived, becomes the Saw chick in Saw 2.
Something
it's
like
all
that.
weird. Yeah. I kind of want to see it again.
I think we should see it.
Yeah, we should.
We got a week. We can
We do. We should plan that out. Let's talk some TV stuff.
All right.
So we are going to talk about The Walking Dead season 5 premiere.
Wow, she's so happy. She's dancing. Why did I switch? I gotta switch back. Keep doing it.
So the season 5 premiere. I thought it was so good. You know, The Walking Dead had a lull. It was kind of slow at some moments, and you thought, okay, when is the action going to happen? But they opened this season with so much gore and so much blood and so much shakes and so much conflict. Carol, man, she has come such a long way from being this lame-ass wife from season 1 to this badass chick who saves everyone from Terminus. And at the end, when Daryl reunites with Carol, it was so beautiful. And then also Rick reuniting with Judith. And it was such a good episode. It's a lot of, you know, a lot of like things that made you think about, oh, this is really scary. You're not worried about zombies. You're worried about people. Like all of the walkers that came around, you weren't scared about them because they're just walkers and they get destroyed easily. But the other people, you are freaked out. And I just loved this season opener, and I cannot wait. And I hope that they continue this momentum throughout the season. And they have already been approved for another season. So season 6 is on its way.
That was fast.
Love it.
So I turned it on because I knew we were going to review it.
You did.
And I hadn't watched the last, what are they on now? 5?
5.
I haven't watched since season 3, I think. So I missed 2 seasons, and I turned this on. I'm trying to listen to it at work. Have it in the corner of my screen or whatever as I'm working.
So I hope
and
your boss doesn't watch it.
Very first scene is them, you know, hunched over that trench, about to get their heads batted in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do this at work. This is crazy.
So
I mean, so I watched it and I kind of understood what was going on, having not seen the last 2 seasons. But I think that, you know, the scenes at the end, like you're saying, would have been more impactful for me if I had followed the last 2 seasons. But it's been really hard because the last 2 seasons I heard were kind of up and down.
Very mellow the last 2 seasons, you know, and I think that could happen. That could probably be why we got so excited when all of this happened with the season opener, because they gave us exactly what we wanted. We see, honestly, you would think that it would be the most exciting moment to see Rick reuniting with his kid and his son as well, but Instead, it was like so close, but nothing tops Daryl and Carol.
Yeah.
Like,
got a great
my
relationship.
God. I'm like, just make out already. So
You know what? I feel like people would be all right with that.
I'm okay
right?
with that. Like, even if you don't like each other, I mean, it's an apocalypse. You guys need some sex. Just do it. Just do it. Fuck it.
It's a deeper kind of love than just sex between them.
Yeah,
I think.
maybe. I mean, I
It's
honestly
almost like a soulmate.
Don't you think about that sometimes when watching The Walking Dead? Like, wow, these people haven't had sex in a long ass time. I think about that. I'm thinking I would probably turn lesbian. I would if I needed something. I'm like, I need a fixer upper. Anyway, but we're going to another topic.
I know. It's gonna be a very bad avenue
making
that we're
Anne
gonna.
blush.
I know.
All right, so let's. Where's Beth, by the way? That's something that I guess we'll figure out soon enough. But it also, what I loved about this episode was it also showed just how strong this group is. Because unlike Terminus, the group who are willing to turn against other humans and each other, these guys have love for humanity and hope. Hope was really the center of this episode. So I really liked it. Tell me what you think of this previous one. All right, so let's talk about The Flash. It's killing it.
I think so too.
It's definitely killing it.
Yeah.
And usually people are really worried about how second episode is going to turn out after the pilot because they kind of have to rehash what people know from the first one. But, I mean, it's doing really well.
They did it. They did what Corey just said in the first 30 seconds. When Barry's voice is, when he's talking over the intro saying, you know, he gives a synopsis of the first episode in 30 seconds and you know what's going on. So even if you miss the pilot, I think you would kind of have been caught up by just the few words that he spoke in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it's just, it feels natural watching this, if that makes sense, because they had Arrow to kind of practice and work the kinks out.
Yes.
I think. So I as an Arrow fan, I'm not surprised by the way they're shooting the show, by the action, by the acting. I love all of it so far.
Yeah. And that's a really good point that, you know, they kind of used Arrow as a practice round inherently, not on purpose or anything. But, you know, like, I feel that Arrow has exponentially improved in production value already and in storylines and tying things in together. And Flash comes in and it already has those, you know, kinks fixed. So it's just it's a great Tuesday, Wednesday. And yeah.
What did you think of the dynamic between Barry and I can't remember his name, the guy who took care of him, the police?
Oh, I wrote this down.
Blah, blah, Iris's dad, him. That whole angle throughout the story or the show.
I think every angle of the story so far has been well done. Like even like this romance question between Flash and Iris, and even though they're like, no, we're just homies, it's like, come on, you know. I think everything's really just smartly created.
Yeah. And the flashbacks in this episode were great.
Everything's more believable than how Arrow was in the beginning.
True.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
a little more human. I don't know why I get that feeling watching this show.
Maybe because Flash is he doesn't really have you watch him change, if that makes sense. You watch him transform from Barry Island to I got electrocuted and now I'm super fast, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Whereas and you see him being vulnerable in a different kind of capacity than when you see Stephen Amell being vulnerable, right?
Right.
Because the Flash also he has like a more human backstory where it's I just want to find out who framed my father, who killed my mom, and where Stephen Amell's like, you guys got to watch all these seasons of history of why I'm like this, you know?
I was on the island and now I'm in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and then there was this girl, and there was this other girl, and this other girl, and this other girl, you know, and like I had sex with whatever, Isabel, or just random shit.
Oh my gosh, bringing back Isabel now. Speaking of Arrow, we have our after show tonight.
We do have our after show tonight. So, you know, always tune in to the stream.tv for all of our after shows hosted by the very handsome John Campea and us. So go over there and check it out.
The very handsome us.
The very handsome us and John Campea.
Always got to say it like that.
I know, right? Okay, so let's talk about our hate of the week. All right, so you guys, I thought about this, and this always bothers me. But going out with more than 2 people and knowing that it's going to be a group dinner or lunch or meal, and there's always that one person who happens to be the asshole and says, hey, my burger is $4.95. I'm going to give you $5. I've got to go. Why are you going to give $5 for a $4.95 burger that doesn't count tax or tip? I hate when people don't account tax or tip into the equation. I think it's so selfish. And I'm sorry if you guys do that, but lesson learned, don't do that to your friends because you make them pay for that. What do you think?
Oh,
Campea.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Although on occasions where I have not meant to do it, I have done that where I've left exact. But I always announce to the table, I'm sorry, this is all the cash I brought. I got to get going, blah, blah, blah. I'll pay you back the dollar, whatever, 50 cents that I owe you for tax and tip. So I'm normally very honest about it. But yes, I have on several occasions experienced having to cover people's asses because they have not accounted for tax and tip, especially when it's large groups. In like a club or, like we got bottle service or something. And it always happens to be the same people for whatever reason.
It is. That's what I'm saying. I think these people do it on purpose. Because I'm not talking about you where you're like, oh, look, this is all I have. I'll use my card, put it on the like, that's different. You explain like the situation.
For sure.
But you got some of your homies that are like, look, I gotta go. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Here's like my $4.95 for that $4.95 burger. Bye, guys.
And they're the first to leave.
Yes.
Before the bill even comes to the table.
We all have those people. We're like, what?
They look at the menu. They're like, oh, how much was mine? $4.95. Okay, $5. Here you go.
And even worse is, how much is mine? $4.95. Here's $4. Like, where does the 95-cent go and tax and tip?
Up, right?
It's like, oh my gosh.
You should at some point like start to tally that person, and then at the end of the year say, hey, here's all the tax and tip you owe me for everything I paid for this whole year.
You start calling them out too. You're like, I think you need to give us a little more. And then some of them are like, what do you need? It's like, oh, really? Really? Yeah. Next time, just starve yourself, okay?
No. You and I always come prepared, right?
Yeah.
We typically, when you're in a group, you bring cash.
Or we just card it.
As much as possible. Or you card it, or you are in the digital age and you use something called Venmo, where you just all pay each other back later.
I would just rather overpay than underpay.
I agree.
That's just how I feel. Because I don't want to be the asshole. So, sorry, my friends who are like, oh my gosh, I always do that to her. Because you're an asshole.
Boom.
Boom. All right. Let's do a really fun segment we enjoy doing because we did it last week and we're going to do it again. FMK, the legendary FMK question. Anne.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask you.
Okay, I'm going to put this on both of us.
Okay. FMK, Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, ZAC Galifianakis.
You bitch. I would kill Jonah Hill.
Okay.
Fuck ZAC Galifianakis. And marry Seth Rogen. Yes, because I heard Jonah Hill is an asshole in real life. So, unfortunately, I would kill him.
I hear that a lot.
ZAC, he's looking kind of lean lately. So, yeah, I would probably, get down with him, scruffy beard and everything. And Seth just seems like a fun guy. We could just, hang out and laugh. And
all right.
He would make me laugh. And he got down and dirty with, what's-her-face in Neighbors. Yeah. So I've seen his body.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
All right, your turn.
I would have picked the same. Seth Rogen.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would have married him because he seems like he's got more, he's really smart and I don't know, I like him a lot. Jonah Hill, probably kill.
Good.
Because he seems like a jerk. And ZAC Galifianakis, I guess I'd fuck. He might do something crazy like Peter Pan on me or something. I don't know.
We should, instead of hashtagging fat Keanu Reeves, we should hashtag skinny ZAC Galifianakis.
All right, that next week we're gonna start doing that now.
All right, so your turn, Miss Kaori.
Okay, don't be a bitch.
I'm being nice.
Okay.
Actually, this comes from a topic we just talked about. So, fuck, marry, or kill. Now I wonder if I should give you the characters or actual actors.
Just do it.
All right, Jason Momoa,
Okay.
Ezra Miller, or Dwayne Johnson. Look how nice I was.
I would probably kill Jason Momoa. He seems kind of boring.
That's a surprise.
I mean, he's a good actor, but I imagine him just being like boring outside of acting. The Rock, I would definitely fuck. Because I think that would be some crazy ass shit. But I don't think he's so big in life that he would be too busy to have a decent marriage. I know, now I'm thinking way too deep.
I know, it's like, wow, she's
I know,
really
I'm
thinking about this. It's supposed to be like bam, bam, bam.
No, and then Ezra Miller, I would pick him to marry. I guess out of default. How about you?
I would marry The Rock.
Okay.
Because then when we're married, we can fuck all we want. And then I would probably kill Ezra because I'm not too familiar with him yet. And then I would fuck Jason Momoa just to say I fuck Conan the Barbarian.
But you know what? Maybe The Rock wouldn't have enough time to fuck
okay
that
with that.
much. He'd be like, one hit,
I'm
quit.
cool.
All right.
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Well, I get it. All right. So, dating question of the week, real quick. This was a viewer question by King Sports Cow. Thank you so much for being such a phenomenal viewer, by the way.
Yes.
Would you date a guy who's dead broke?
Wah, wah. I love this graphic, by the way.
I know.
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Honestly, I would say from my last relationship, I did date a guy who was dead broke. He was like Master Mooch. And I don't think that I would do that again because after dating King Mooch, I just can't do it anymore.
This is great. I love that nickname. It's even better because I know who she's talking about. Master Mooch. While I've never dated someone who intentionally was like, he was trying. One of my exes, he was definitely trying to not be broke. I found that I was covering majority of our expenses, so that could definitely weigh it on your pockets. And not to sound crazy or a bitch, but I think that at this point in my life, I could not date somebody who was broke.
That's how I feel too. Like, I think if you asked me a year ago, I would have been more forgiving, but I'm at a stage in my life where I want a guy who's able to just take care of himself.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking to take care of me, but be able to handle your own, stand alone, so I can stand alone. We can unite in a very, very healthy manner.
Right.
You don't want, like, someone pulling, like, your weight. And, like, it is kind of a turnoff when you think that a guy has no humility in having you pay all the time.
I know. And drive or whatever
Yes.
else, like just doing everything.
Yes.
It's kind of strange.
Yes.
Master Mooch.
Master Mooch.
Granted, if I was with somebody and then, into the relationship, they lost their job and kind of had a downward spiral, then yes, obviously I would stay with that person, because they didn't choose that. And I'm sure they're the type that would then pick themselves back up. But like you said, there's a difference there.
And that's where timing goes into play, I guess, right?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that funny?
We just made full circle.
Yes. That was a good question. So any other viewers, drop a question, whether it's an FMK, a dating question, because we like to answer them.
Send it to our Gmail.
Right there. teamamazing@gmizzy.
There you go.
Gmail.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Peter. Okay. Let's talk real quick about some video game news. I just wanted to jot some down because some two video games came out October 14th, which was on Tuesday. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. And you get to really discover the story behind Handsome Jack. And it is the story, that's why it's called pre-sequel, in between the original Borderlands and Borderlands 2. So you get to observe how Handsome Jack came into power, and it's kind of cool. It's an RPG/shooter. It's getting really mixed reviews, but something I want to check out and see. Did you look at the stuff at all?
I did, and I read the reviews,
cool, huh?
and it looks pretty good. I think people were saying that it's aesthetically, like, it looks like a good game.
Yeah. It's
and
kind of like cartoony, and I like that.
Yeah, and I had also read that it's not like, a lot of these could definitely just be a rehash of the game, and this one actually takes the story a little bit further and kind of fills in the gaps, is what I was reading.
Yeah.
So, looks interesting.
It does, right?
Obviously, I'm not a gamer. I would expect for you to let me know if it's worth playing.
I eventually, I mean, I have so many games I want to play that are in queue.
Dude, I went shopping with this girl, by the way, at
Game Dude
or whatever, and she, started with one game that she came in there for and walked away with 10.
No.
So, no joke. She's got a laundry list of games that she's got to get through and review with us. So, we'll wait.
Yeah, and you're playing Destiny, and I still even haven't gotten to that.
I am the slowest Destiny player ever.
You're
once a week, I turn it on for 30 minutes, and I beat one thing, and then I shut it down for that week. So I'm on level 4.
You're I killed one person.
I know. I was yes.
I eat pizza now.
I'm good. I know how to make video games last.
Yes, that's true. Okay. And there's another one that came out this Tuesday, The Evil Within. And if you like horror genre games or even movies, you're going to like this one. Basically, it's just a survival story, you know?
Sounds like your type of game.
Yeah. But I might need someone to sit there and play with me. So let me know what you think of these two ones that came out, if you guys have played it yet. And thank you also to Michael for letting me know that I should definitely get Shadow of Mordor, because I want to get that too. There's so many games in queue. Okay. And one final video game news is that Resident Evil is coming to your TV. Once Resident Evil 5 is made, which is in the works right now, which is on the big screen, they're gonna have I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. The German production house Constantin Films is going to do a TV adaptation of the series, but nothing else much more is said. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're gonna transfer movie monsters onto TV monsters.
I agree. Do we know what network it's going to be on yet?
No. For some reason, I imagine it being a Fox. Don't you imagine Fox?
I feel like that. It wouldn't be CBS. It wouldn't be NBC. Probably not. Maybe Fox or FX or something, which is under Fox, right? So I'm excited. I think it's good that they want to extend the life of this franchise.
Do you like the Resident Evil movies?
I do.
Okay, I like them too. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's crap. I'm like, well, I mean, what do you expect?
I know, exactly. I think people just have high expectations or something.
These people that go into movie theaters expecting to see real life things and go see a gory movie, dude, come on.
I know.
Not hating, but hating. Okay, let's talk about some tech talk.
All right.
Snapchat was apparently hacked.
Sorry.
Yeah, that kind of sick. So if you guys don't know what Snapchat is, it's an app that basically allows you to send messages and pictures, and the moment that those pictures are sent and the person views it, it deletes itself. It's like self-destructs. And if they try to screenshot the picture, you get alerted. Sounds like the perfect app to send sex stuff, right?
But doesn't anyone realize that they don't really get deleted?
Yeah. If Anne sent me a picture of her boobs, I would screenshot that. And I'm like, I don't even care if she would be like, oh, she screenshotted that.
I know. I love how it tells you too.
Yeah.
So-and-so screenshot your picture.
Isn't that what it's made for? So weird.
These people. They don't magically disappear. I'm sorry.
They all go into the world in the galaxy of hackers.
And I actually deleted. I don't even use Snapchat anymore. It
didn't make sense.
Yeah, there was really no use for it, and then they've always had issues. I heard a bunch of people's passwords and stuff leaked, and when that happened, that's when I deleted. I was like, whatever. Yeah, and
actually, I'm going to. So there's over 200,000 Snapchat photos leaked, which is a lot. And the company blogged, and I'm going to quote, "When you give your login credentials to a third-party application, you're allowing a developer and possibly a criminal to access your account information and send information." So they're blaming it on a third-party developer.
Damn.
And the third-party developer kind of admitted it to it.
Yeah, they're the ones who got hacked.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's a hard one.
I mean, it's a good point, but don't use Snapchat. If you're going to send a naked picture, just send a naked picture. It's weird. Why would you go through an app which is developed by another person?
I know.
Developed by another person.
That then sends the photo through another person.
Yeah, just
come on. Come on now.
Or just go to the person's place and be like, let's do this. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying. And also, you guys, check out our app show.
Yes.
There's an app for that.
We're so excited. There's an app for that. We shot it yesterday. Very exciting stuff.
Yes. And tell us also what apps you like and what you think we should try and what you'd like us to review.
For sure.
Because there's an app for that everywhere we go.
There needs to be a Team Amazing app, I think.
I know. Wouldn't that be so cute?
Like a Snapchat. Oh.
Oh,
Just
no.
joking.
No. We should do like a Family Guy Team Amazing version.
But all we Snapchat is like Wakame and Shadow and Lily, our dogs. That's all you guys see all the time.
And it gets hacked.
And it gets hacked. But ew.
Why are we saying ew, not cute?
No, I'm sorry. It just sounded like... Never mind.
Okay, and...
Never mind. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Next.
All right, let's talk about food real quick because Jennifer Lawrence, who is on the cover of this month's Vanity Fair, quote says, "Gluten-free is the new cool eating disorder."
Sorry.
Bitch. Okay, what do you think?
Just Bradley Cooper looks like he wants some of that pizza.
He did kind of get some of that pizza.
Whatever. I mean, I'm a JLaw fan, so she typically speaks her mind about everything.
That's true.
So this is not a surprise for me to hear that she had said this. I'm sure there is a group of you that are very much now not fans of her because of this and are completely offended because you are gluten whatever diet people. I don't know.
I know she always speaks her mind, but just because she always speaks her mind doesn't mean that she should always be doing it. You know, like there are some things that can be offensive that she just needs to shut her trap. Like there's no point of saying something so rude. And I eat everything and anything, and I kind of agree that a lot of people do the gluten-free because it's the fad, whatever.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's their choice. It's their decision. Let them do what they want. And some people really do feel healthier after they eliminate gluten from their diet.
I wish I could eliminate gluten from my diet.
I wish I could too, but you know what? I don't have that willpower. And I just don't think for her to stereotype everyone who's like gluten and say like that, make that kind of comment. It's just like, you got to let people make their own choices. Like she's being a hypocrite in a way. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of what upsets me. And she's just, I am kind of getting tired of her, where in the sense that they're really trying to push for her to be America's sweetheart and the one relatable person in Hollywood. And it's like, you got to kick back on that because she's just not, she doesn't always do that for me.
Okay.
And it's becoming less and less so. But yeah.
At least she didn't say she like beats baby seals with a club, you know?
Yeah, no.
So she hasn't gone to that extreme yet.
But like she gets, you know, Joan Rivers, rest in peace. She made a comment about JLaw's awful dress. That one nasty dress where she had like little like Skittle tits in her red dress. Do you know what I'm talking about? And JLaw went AWOL on it. And it's like, dude, just take a joke. If you're as cool and as chill as, you know, you want everyone to think you are, then just take the joke. You're on Fashion Police. What do you expect? You know? Things like that. And the final kicker is she's dating Coldplay dude, Chris Martin. So she's probably really boring. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just hating on her.
I know. It's like, I'm going to not say anything because...
I'll like her when Hunger Games comes out.
Oh, yeah, Hunger Games.
Yeah, I just got frustrated because that comment I thought was just kind of a low blow, you know? It was unnecessary, basically. Like, she didn't need to say that. All right, so let's finish with our favorite topic, ZAC EFRON. And this part is not our favorite topic of the topic.
Ugh.
He's dating some new chick. Yeah.
He almost doesn't look great either because he's next to her in that photo.
He looks like he got caught at the Dodger Stadium.
Right?
No, but it's Sammy Morrow. No idea who she is, and I don't even want to know who she is, so I didn't Google her, and not feeling her. She kind of looks like a broke man's Rita Ora.
Yes. She looks
Look at your
like...
face.
Yes. She looks like she hasn't showered. That's me hating. But, like, why don't you just be with Rita Ora
she
then?
doesn't look like she showered, right? So weird.
In every photo that I've seen so far that he's posted with her or that, paparazzi has taken, like, she looks like she hasn't combed her hair in days or something.
What do you think of the fact that we've seen him go through 3 different women in this year alone? Meaning that I think each one is a publicity stunt. That's just my theory.
Sure, but yeah, and I believe that with Michelle Rodriguez, but what is the point of this one? Because we don't even know who she is.
I bet you in like a couple months she's going to suddenly be like in a movie. Bet you anything, or debuting an album or some crap.
Yeah.
Because right before that, he was dating his co-star from Neighbors. Okay, how coincidental.
And honestly, he looked like he was more affectionate towards Wes Bentley than he is towards this girl. And you know what? I wouldn't even be mad if one day we found out he's gay.
I wouldn't be mad. It's fine.
That would be so incredible. But this is not the first time that I've seen ZAC be paired up with somebody for a marketing or publicity or whatever. So I'm on board with you. I think that might be it.
I kind of think it is too. Maybe that's kind of what I hope for. But one chick who's actually, in my humble opinion, a lot better looking next to ZAC than this chick is the winner of his first car because she donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he offered one special person, whoever donated, to get his first car, and she won and got to meet him as well.
A little jealous, but that's amazing. He raised a lot of money for charity for Make-A-Wish. And
how much did he raise? Oh, it doesn't say.
I think it's like over 200,000.
A lot.
And he even signed the inside of the car.
Gosh.
They got to hang out with him. She brought her friend. I was like, oh.
He can sign any part of my household system, car, face, body, hair.
And yeah, he's hotter than fat Keanu Reeves.
Let's find a fat ZAC EFRON. No, I'm just kidding.
Before we go, I completely forgot to mention this, you guys. I want to put Kaori on the spot because she actually wrote her first piece, and it was on TV, and I got a chance to watch it, and it was about Gillian Flynn, and it was just amazing, and I'm so proud of this girl. Maybe you can point people to where they can see it if they are able to see it, but there's going to be a lot more of her work on TV, and I was just thoroughly impressed by this, and I can't wait to see what else you have in store for us on. Was it Extra that they aired it on?
Yes. I
didn't know if it was outside of Extra.
I do work for Extra, and you can find some of my pieces slowly kind of filtering in on the weekend show, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, my first piece that was on the show was about Gillian Flynn, the writer.
Very well done, you guys.
So thank you, Anne, for putting me on the spot. So sweet.
I had to say that. Look, she's incredible. On camera, outside of camera. Her work is just getting out there, so you guys check it out.
Oh, thank you. Aw. Okay, you get frozen cheesecake.
Yes. Done.
And that about completes our show for today. We are going to be running to the Arrow After Show, so please watch that every week on Wednesdays on the stream.tv. The stream.tv. And in the meantime, guys, follow us. First of all, me right here, KAORIOUS on Instagram as well as Twitter.
And follow me at Ann Campea.
And then you can follow the dynamic duo right here at Team Amazing, Twitter and Instagram. As you can also email us at teamamazing@gmail.com. And please tell a friend. One friend a day will keep us going, and it'll be awesome. So subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. Keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for tuning in to this fun little...
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always have fun doing this. And we'll catch you guys next week for another episode.